The crimson warning lights bathed Director Sarah Chen's face in an eerie glow as she stood before the massive observation deck of Luna Station 7. For 3 decades, she had watched the stars from this very spot, monitoring deep space communications and coordinating humanity's first tentative steps beyond their home solar system. Tonight felt different. Tonight, the universe seemed to be holding its breath. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from. And if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow, I've saved something extra special for you. The alert had come without warning. Every long-range sensor array from Mercury to Pluto had detected the same phenomenon simultaneously. A massive energy signature approaching from the direction of Alpha Centauri. Whatever was coming toward Earth wasn't trying to hide. It was announcing itself with the subtlety of a supernova. Dr. Marcus Vale burst through the observation deck doors, his usually pristine lab coat wrinkled and his graying hair disheveled. As Luna Station's chief xenobiologist, Marcus had spent 20 years preparing for this exact moment, though he had secretly hoped it would never come. The theoretical had just become terrifyingly real. "Sarah, you need to see the latest readings," Marcus said, his voice tight with barely controlled excitement and fear. "Whatever's coming our way, it's not natural. The energy patterns are too complex, too organized. This is definitely artificial." Sarah turned from the observation window, her dark eyes reflecting the amber glow of the approaching phenomenon. At 45, she had earned her position through a combination of brilliant tactical thinking and an almost supernatural ability to remain calm under pressure. Both qualities were being tested now. "How much time do we have?" she asked, moving toward the central command console where holographic displays showed the incoming object's trajectory. "Approximately 18 hours until it reaches Earth's orbital zone," replied Lieutenant Commander Alex Rivera from his position at the tracking station. Alex had been monitoring deep space for the past 8 years, and his instruments had never registered anything like this. The object was enormous, easily the size of a small moon, but it moved with the precision of a guided missile. Dr. Elena Vasquez looked up from her quantum communication array, her fingers still dancing across the holographic interface. As the station's leading expert in theoretical alien contact protocols, Elena had written the book on first contact procedures, literally. Her 300-page manual sat in emergency kits throughout the solar system, though she had never expected to use it herself. "Sarah, we're receiving some kind of transmission from the object," Elena announced, her Spanish accent thickening with stress. "It's not using any frequency we recognize, but the AI is attempting to decode the signal structure." Sarah walked over to Elena's station, studying the complex waveforms cascading across the displays. The patterns were unlike anything in their databases, yet there was something almost familiar about the mathematical relationships underlying the signal structure. "Can you clean it up enough to determine if it's a communication attempt?" Sarah asked. "I'm trying, but the signal is incredibly sophisticated. It's using multiple-dimensional encoding systems that our computers are barely capable of processing. Whoever sent this is working with technology far beyond anything we've developed." The main display screen flickered, and suddenly the observation deck was filled with the sound of static mixed with something that almost resembled speech. The AI translation systems worked frantically to find patterns in the chaos. Marcus moved closer to the speakers, his scientific curiosity overriding his natural caution. "Elena, can you isolate the vocal elements? There's definitely some kind of linguistic structure in there." Elena's fingers flew across her controls, applying filter after filter to the incoming signal. Slowly, the static began to fade, replaced by something that sounded increasingly like actual words. "People of the third planet," the voice said, clear and melodious despite the obvious electronic translation. "We greet you with peaceful intentions. We are the Temporal Collective, guardians of this sector of space. We have been watching your world for many cycles, and we bring urgent news." The observation deck fell silent except for the hum of electronic equipment. 4 humans stared at speakers that had just delivered the first confirmed alien communication in history. Alex was the first to speak, his voice barely above a whisper. "Did that just happen? Did we just receive first contact?" Sarah raised her hand for silence, her command training taking over. "Elena, respond with our standard first contact protocol. Let them know we're receiving their transmission and request clarification of their intentions." Elena's hands trembled slightly as she activated the response system. Unknown vessel, this is Luna Station 7, representing the United Earth Government. We acknowledge receipt of your communication. Please state your intentions and identify your origins. The response came almost immediately, as if the aliens had been waiting for exactly this exchange. Luna Station 7, we appreciate your prompt response. We are representatives of the Temporal Collective, a confederation of species dedicated to protecting young civilizations from the dangers that exist in this galaxy. We have urgent information about threats to your world's survival. Dr. Marcus Vale felt his scientific skepticism warring with the excitement of the moment. Everything about this situation seemed too convenient, too perfectly timed. Sarah, ask them about these threats they mentioned. What kind of dangers are we supposedly facing? Sarah nodded to Elena, who transmitted the question. The alien response came with what sounded like genuine concern in the translated voice. Your species stands at a critical juncture in its development. You have recently begun expanding beyond your homeworld, which has attracted the attention of predatory civilizations in this region of space. There are species that view younger races as resources to be harvested rather than beings to be respected. Lieutenant Commander Alex Rivera pulled up star charts on his secondary display, cross-referencing the alien vessel's approach vector with known deep space anomalies. Something about their story wasn't adding up in his mind. Elena, ask them to be more specific. What species are we talking about, and what kind of timeline are we facing? The alien voice responded with what seemed like increasing urgency. The most immediate threat comes from the Harvester Confederation, a loose alliance of aggressive species that strip mine inhabited worlds for resources and slave labor. Our long-range sensors indicate that a scouting force is already moving toward your solar system. They will arrive within one standard galactic year. Dr. Elena Vasquez studied the linguistic patterns in the alien communication, noting subtle inconsistencies in the translation algorithms. Her expertise in xenolinguistics had taught her to look for deception in communication patterns, even when dealing with purely theoretical scenarios. Sarah, there's something odd about their speech patterns. The emotional inflections don't quite match the content of their messages. It's subtle, but it's there. Sarah moved to the central command console and opened a secure channel to Earth's primary defense headquarters. Whatever was happening, the people in charge needed to know immediately. Director Chen to Earth Defense Command. Priority Alpha Communication. We have confirmed first contact with an alien civilization. Please connect me with General Patricia Morrison immediately. While waiting for the connection, Sarah turned back to the alien communication system. Ask them about this temporal collective they mentioned. How many species are involved, and how long have they been monitoring our solar system? Elena transmitted the question and received a response that made her frown with concentration. The temporal collective consists of 47 different species from across this galactic sector. We have been observing your world's development for approximately 300 of your years, waiting for the appropriate moment to make contact. Alex looked up from his sensor readings with a puzzled expression. 300 years? That would put first contact at around the early 1700s on Earth. How is it possible that they've been watching us that long without being detected? The alien response came with what sounded like gentle amusement. Lieutenant Commander Rivera, your species detection capabilities have improved dramatically in recent decades, but our observation methods exist outside your current technological paradigm. We have been careful to remain undetected until this critical moment. General Patricia Morrison's face appeared on the secure communication screen, her iron-gray hair perfectly arranged despite being awakened in the middle of the night. At 62, she had served as Earth's primary military commander for over a decade, overseeing humanity's expansion into the outer solar system. Director Chen, I understand you have a first contact situation. What's the current status? Sarah quickly briefed the general on the alien arrival and their claims about galactic threats. Morrison listened without interruption, her expression growing more serious with each detail. General, Sarah concluded, they're claiming that hostile aliens are already en route to our solar system. They say we have less than a year before some kind of invasion force arrives. Morrison was quiet for a moment, processing the implications. Director, I need you to keep this communication channel open and extract every piece of information you can from these aliens. Ask them about defensive capabilities. their own military strength, and what kind of assistance they're prepared to offer. Elena transmitted the general's questions and waited for the alien response. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel, it means a lot to us. Now back to the story. When it came, the voice carried what sounded like relief mixed with determination. General Morrison, we are prepared to offer significant assistance to your species. Our technology is capable of establishing protective barrier systems around your solar system that would prevent detection by hostile forces. We can also provide advanced defensive weapons and early warning systems. Dr. Marcus Vale had been analyzing the energy readings from the alien vessel throughout the conversation. The more data he collected, the more questions arose in his mind. Sarah, the energy signature from their ship doesn't match what they're describing. If they have technology capable of hiding entire solar systems, their vessel should be producing readings we can't even comprehend. Instead, it's powerful, but still within the realm of our understanding. Sarah relayed Marcus's observation to the aliens, asking for clarification about their technological capabilities. The response came with what seemed like patience for human curiosity. Dr. Vale, the vessel approaching your station is a diplomatic craft, not a military or engineering ship. Our defensive technologies require much larger installations and significantly more advanced equipment. The ship you are observing is designed for communication and initial contact protocols. General Morrison had been consulting with her staff during the exchange. Director Chen, I'm ordering immediate mobilization of our deep space monitoring network. If hostile aliens are really approaching our solar system, we need to detect them as early as possible. Alex Rivera had been running continuous scans of the surrounding space throughout the conversation. His instruments were picking up subtle anomalies that didn't quite fit with the aliens' explanation of their presence. Sarah, I'm detecting some unusual energy patterns in the outer system. They're very faint, but there's definitely something out there beyond the main alien vessel. Elena transmitted Alex's observation to the temporal collective representatives. The response came more slowly this time, as if the aliens were choosing their words carefully. Lieutenant Commander Rivera, your instruments are detecting the energy signatures of our escort vessels. We did not travel to your system alone, as that would have been unwise given the current galactic situation. Our escort ships are maintaining position at the edge of your solar system to avoid causing alarm. Dr. Marcus Vale cross-referenced Alex's sensor data with the alien's explanation. The energy patterns were consistent with multiple vessels, but something about their positioning seemed oddly strategic rather than protective. Elena, ask them how many escort ships they brought and why they're positioned in what appears to be a perimeter formation around our entire solar system. The alien response carried what might have been embarrassment or reluctance. Dr. Vale, we brought 12 escort vessels for protection during our journey. Their current positioning is standard security protocol for diplomatic missions in potentially dangerous space. Sarah studied the tactical implications of having 13 alien ships surrounding Earth's solar system. Even if their intentions were peaceful, the situation represented an enormous shift in the balance of power. General Morrison, we have confirmation of at least 13 alien vessels in our solar system. They claim to be here for diplomatic protection, but their positioning could also be interpreted as a containment formation. Morrison's expression hardened. Director, I want you to ask them directly about their military capabilities and what specific assistance they're offering. If we're really facing an invasion, we need to know exactly what we're dealing with. Elena transmitted the general's request and received a comprehensive response that made everyone in the observation deck pay close attention. General Morrison, the Harvester Confederation typically attacks with fleets numbering in the hundreds of vessels. Their technology focuses on overwhelming firepower and rapid resource extraction. Our defensive systems can establish energy barriers that render entire solar systems invisible to their detection methods. We can also provide weapon technologies that would give your species a significant advantage in any confrontation. Lieutenant Commander Alex Rivera had been plotting the positions of the alien escort vessels on his three-dimensional display. The formation they had established was too perfect to be coincidental. Sarah, look at this formation pattern. These ships aren't just randomly positioned for security. They're placed at optimal points for either communication relay or something like a containment grid. Dr. Elena Vasquez had been analyzing the linguistic patterns in the alien communications throughout the conversation. Her expertise in theoretical xenolinguistics was revealing subtle inconsistencies that troubled her. "Sarah, there's something I need to discuss with you privately. The translation patterns I'm seeing don't quite match what I would expect from a genuinely alien intelligence." Sarah opened a private communication channel with Elena, while maintaining the main conversation with the temporal collective. "What kind of inconsistencies are you seeing?" "The grammatical structures are too similar to human languages, even allowing for translation algorithms. It's as if whoever is speaking is thinking in concepts that are fundamentally human rather than truly alien." Dr. Marcus Vale had been conducting passive scans of the alien vessel's technology throughout the conversation. His analysis was revealing some unexpected results. "Sarah, the materials composition of their ship includes several elements that shouldn't exist in that combination according to our understanding of physics. Either their technology is far more advanced than they're letting on, or there's something else going on here." The alien voice interrupted their private discussions with what sounded like increasing urgency. "Luna Station 7, we must discuss the timeline for implementing protective measures around your solar system. The Harvester Scouts are closer than we initially calculated." General Morrison had been coordinating with Earth's scientific and military leadership during the ongoing conversation. "Director Chen, I'm authorizing the deployment of our deep space monitoring arrays to maximum sensitivity. If there really are hostile aliens approaching, we need independent confirmation." Sarah acknowledged the general's orders and turned back to the alien communication system. "Temporal collective representatives, can you provide specific coordinates and timelines for these approaching harvester forces?" The response came with what seemed like relief that humans were taking the threat seriously. "Director Chen, our long-range sensors indicate that Harvester scout ships are currently located approximately 15 light-years from your position, moving at speeds that would bring them to your solar system in 8 to 10 months. Alex Rivera immediately began calculating the physics of the alien claims. "Sarah, if hostile ships are 15 light-years away and can reach us in 8 months, they're traveling at speeds that should be impossible according to our understanding of relativity." Elena transmitted Alex's question to the aliens, asking for clarification about faster-than-light travel capabilities. The response introduced concepts that challenged everything humanity thought they knew about space travel. "Lieutenant Commander Rivera, the Harvester Confederation, uses dimensional fold technology that allows them to compress space-time for rapid transit. Your species has not yet developed this capability, which is one of the reasons you are vulnerable to their attacks." Dr. Marcus Vale had been consulting with his xenobiology databases throughout the conversation, looking for any precedent for the type of civilization the aliens were describing. "Sarah, according to every theoretical model we've developed, the kind of galactic confederation they're describing should have made contact with developing civilizations much earlier in their evolution. The fact that they waited until we're already expanding into space suggests either remarkable patience or some other motivation." The alien voice responded to Marcus's observation with what sounded like considered thoughtfulness. "Dr. Vale, the Temporal Collective follows strict protocols regarding contact with developing species. We intervene only when a civilization faces extinction-level threats that they cannot handle independently." General Morrison had been receiving reports from Earth's deep space monitoring stations throughout the conversation. "Director Chen, our outermost sensor arrays are detecting energy signatures consistent with what the aliens are describing, but the readings are at the very edge of our detection capabilities." Sarah felt the weight of the situation settling on her shoulders. If the aliens were telling the truth, humanity was facing its first existential threat from outside the solar system. If they were lying, then humanity was already in a much more dangerous situation than anyone realized. "Temporal collective representatives, what specific steps would you recommend for protecting our world from this harvester threat?" The alien response came with what seemed like relief, that humans were ready to discuss practical measures. "Director Chen, we would need to establish a network of energy projection stations throughout your solar system. These installations would create an invisibility field that would hide your entire star system from harvester detection methods." Elena transmitted a follow-up question about the technical requirements for such installations. The alien response revealed the scope of what they were proposing. The energy projection network would require construction of 7 major installations, 1 near each of your outer planets, and one at the gravitational center of your solar system. Each installation would need to be operated by a joint human collective technical team. Alex Rivera studied the implications of establishing alien installations throughout the solar system. Sarah, what they're describing would give them permanent bases throughout our entire star system. That's a massive commitment for a species we've known about for less than 6 hours. Dr. Marcus Vale had been analyzing the biological implications of working closely with an alien species. Sarah, ask them about biological compatibility. If we're going to have joint technical teams, we need to know about potential health risks from extended contact. Elena transmitted the question and received a response that seemed oddly prepared, as if the aliens had been expecting this concern. Dr. Vale, extensive analysis of your species indicates complete biological compatibility for cooperative work environments. Our species shares similar atmospheric and gravitational requirements, which would facilitate joint operations. Sarah found the aliens' quick response to complex questions increasingly suspicious. Either they were incredibly efficient at analyzing new situations, or they had been preparing for this conversation much longer than they claimed. Temporal Collective, how were you able to conduct extensive biological analysis of our species during your 300-year observation period without making direct contact? The alien response came with what might have been slight hesitation. Director Chen, our observation methods included detailed scanning of your biosphere and atmosphere. We have also analyzed biological samples from your space exploration missions that traveled beyond your solar system. General Morrison had been coordinating with international leadership during the ongoing conversation. Director Chen, I have authorization from the United Earth government to negotiate preliminary agreements with these aliens, but we need much more detailed information about their capabilities and intentions. Elena transmitted the general statement to the aliens, requesting comprehensive technical specifications for their proposed defensive systems. The response revealed the scope of what the Temporal Collective was offering. General Morrison, our defensive technology includes quantum barrier generators, dimensional displacement fields, and gravitational masking systems. We can provide complete technical documentation and training programs for human operators. Dr. Marcus Vale had been cross-referencing the alien technology descriptions with humanity's most advanced theoretical physics. Sarah, what they're describing is several centuries ahead of our current capabilities. If this technology is real, it would revolutionize our understanding of space-time manipulation. The alien voice continued with what sounded like increasing enthusiasm for the proposed cooperation. Dr. Vale, we are prepared to share selected advanced technologies with your species as part of our mutual defense agreement. This would include improvements to your current space travel capabilities and energy generation systems. Lieutenant Commander Alex Rivera had been monitoring communications from Earth's deep space installations throughout the conversation. Sarah, I'm receiving reports from several outer system monitoring stations. They're detecting what appear to be structured energy emissions from the directions the aliens indicated. Elena immediately transmitted Alex's observation to the Temporal Collective, asking for clarification about what their sensors might be detecting. The alien response carried what seemed like genuine concern. Lieutenant Commander Rivera, your sensors are detecting the energy signatures of advanced harvester reconnaissance probes. These devices are designed to gather intelligence about potential target systems before the main attack force arrives. Sarah felt a chill of fear mixed with skepticism. The timing of detecting hostile aliens immediately after first contact seemed too convenient to be coincidental. Temporal Collective, can your technology distinguish between your own reconnaissance methods and those of the harvesters? How can we verify the nature of what our sensors are detecting? The alien response came with what sounded like understanding of human caution. Director Chen, we can provide you with detailed technical specifications for harvester probe technology. Your scientists can use this information to analyze the energy signatures your sensors are detecting. Dr. Elena Vasquez had been recording and analyzing every aspect of the alien communications for later study. Her linguistic analysis was revealing patterns that continued to trouble her. Sarah, the complexity of their responses is increasing throughout our conversation, but the underlying linguistic structures remain suspiciously familiar. It's as if they're becoming more fluent in human communication patterns in real time. Marcus Vale had been studying the energy readings from the alien vessel with increasing sophistication as more data became available. Sarah, The power output from their ship is impressive, but not beyond what we might be able to achieve with our most advanced technology in the next 50 years. For a civilization capable of hiding entire solar systems, that seems inadequate. The alien voice interrupted their private consultations with what seemed like urgent news. Luna Station 7, our long-range sensors are detecting increased activity from the Harvester probe network. We recommend beginning immediate preparations for defensive installations. General Morrison had been consulting with Earth's top scientists and engineers during the ongoing conversation. Director Chen, our technical teams are ready to analyze any information the aliens provide, but we need independent verification of their claims before committing to any major installations. Sarah turned back to the alien communication system with a request that would test their willingness to provide verifiable evidence. Temporal Collective, we need you to provide specific coordinates and technical specifications that would allow our independent sensor networks to verify the presence of these harvester probes. The alien response came more slowly than previous communications, as if they were carefully considering the implications of providing such information. Director Chen, we can provide general coordinate ranges for harvester probe activity, but precise locations change frequently as the probes move throughout your local stellar region. We recommend focusing on establishing defensive systems rather than attempting to track individual probe units. Alex Rivera found the alien reluctance to provide specific coordinates highly suspicious. Sarah, if they have sensors capable of detecting these probes, they should be able to give us precise tracking data. The fact that they're avoiding specifics suggests they might not have the detailed information they claim. Dr. Marcus Vale had been developing a growing list of questions about the alien story throughout the conversation. Sarah, ask them about the other 46 species in their temporal collective. We should be able to verify the existence of such a large interstellar confederation through our own deep space observations. Elena transmitted Marcus's question, asking for detailed information about the other species in the temporal collective and their locations throughout the galaxy. The alien response revealed more about their claimed confederation. Dr. Vale, the temporal collective includes species from 17 different star systems within 50 light-years of your position. Each member species contributes specific technologies and capabilities to our mutual defense network. Sarah immediately recognized the implications of such a large confederation existing so close to Earth. If there are really 16 other advanced civilizations within 50 light-years of our position, our deep space observations should have detected some evidence of their activities. The alien response came with what sounded like patient explanation of superior technology. Director Chen, member species of the temporal collective have mastered energy masking and dimensional displacement technologies that render their activities essentially invisible to detection methods available to developing civilizations. General Morrison had been coordinating with astronomical observation teams throughout Earth's solar system during the conversation. Director Chen, our most sensitive instruments haven't detected any evidence of large-scale civilization within our local stellar neighborhood. Either these aliens have impossibly advanced stealth technology, or their claims about local civilizations are false. Dr. Elena Vasquez had been analyzing the mathematical structure of the aliens' technical explanations throughout the conversation. Sarah, the physics they're describing is internally consistent but requires assumptions about space-time manipulation that go far beyond our current theoretical frameworks. The alien voice continued with what seemed like increasing urgency about the timeline for implementing defensive measures. Luna Station 7, we must emphasize that time is critical. Harvester advanced scouts are approaching the edge of your local stellar region. Once they detect your solar system, the main attack force will follow within months. Sarah felt the pressure of making decisions that could affect humanity's entire future based on information from aliens they had known about for less than 8 hours. Temporal Collective, we need more time to analyze your proposals and verify your claims about galactic threats. Can you provide us with 48 hours to consult with our scientific and political leadership? The alien response carried what might have been disappointment mixed with understanding. Director Chen, we understand your need for careful consideration. However, we must warn you that delays in implementing defensive measures increase the risk that harvester probes will detect your solar system before protection can be established. Dr. Marcus Vale had been developing a comprehensive analysis of the aliens' claims throughout the conversation. Sarah, their story has internal consistency, but it requires us to accept that our understanding of galactic civilization is completely wrong. That's possible, but it's also the kind of claim that requires extraordinary evidence. Lieutenant Commander Alex Rivera had been monitoring the positions of the alien escort vessels throughout the conversation. Sarah, the alien ships have been gradually adjusting their positions during our conversation. They're now in what could be interpreted as a more defensive formation around our solar system. Elena transmitted Alex's observation to the aliens, asking for clarification about their vessel movements. The response came with what sounded like standard military protocol explanation. Lieutenant Commander Rivera, our escort vessels are adjusting their positions in response to increased harvester probe activity in your local region. We are establishing optimal defensive positions in case immediate protection becomes necessary. Sarah found the aliens' continuous adjustment of their story to match human observations increasingly suspicious. Either they were remarkably adaptive to changing situations, or they were improvising explanations for predetermined actions. Temporal Collective, we appreciate your concern for our safety, but we need you to maintain your current positions while we analyze your proposals. Any further movement of your vessels will be interpreted as potentially hostile. The alien response came with what seemed like surprise at human suspicion. Director Chen, we understand your caution, but we must emphasize that our movements are purely defensive in nature. We have no hostile intentions toward your species. General Morrison had been receiving regular updates from Earth's military leadership throughout the conversation. Director Chen, I'm ordering our deep space defense networks to maximum alert status. Whether these aliens are telling the truth or not, we need to be prepared for any eventuality. Dr. Elena Vasquez had been compiling a comprehensive linguistic analysis of the alien communications. Sarah, I've identified over a dozen subtle inconsistencies in their communication patterns that suggest either deception or artificial intelligence simulation of alien intelligence. Marcus Vale had been cross-referencing the aliens' technical claims with humanity's most advanced research projects. Sarah, some of the technologies they're describing are remarkably similar to theoretical concepts our own scientists have been developing. That could be convergent evolution of ideas, or it could suggest they have access to our research. The alien voice interrupted their consultations with what sounded like urgent news about immediate threats. Luna Station 7. Our sensors are detecting a significant increase in harvester probe activity. We recommend immediate evacuation of your outer system installations until defensive measures can be implemented. Sarah felt the aliens' constant escalation of urgency was becoming a pattern designed to pressure humans into quick decisions. Temporal Collective, we will not evacuate our installations based solely on your recommendations. We need independent verification of any threats before taking such drastic action. The alien response carried what might have been frustration with human skepticism. Director Chen, we understand your desire for independent verification, but harvester probe technology is specifically designed to avoid detection by developing civilizations. Your sensors may not be capable of confirming the threat until it is too late. Alex Rivera had been analyzing the tactical implications of the aliens' proposed defensive installations throughout the conversation. Sarah, if we allow them to establish 7 major installations throughout our solar system, they would effectively control all access routes to Earth. That's either perfect protection or perfect containment. Dr. Marcus Vale had been studying the biological implications of the aliens' claims about species compatibility. Sarah, their assertion that 47 different species from 17 star systems all happen to be biologically compatible with humans strains credibility. That level of biological similarity across different evolutionary environments is statistically improbable. Elena transmitted a comprehensive list of questions that had been developing throughout their conversation, asking for detailed explanations of apparent inconsistencies in the alien story. The response came with what seemed like patient willingness to address human concerns. Luna Station 7. We understand that our proposals represent significant changes to your species' understanding of galactic civilization. We are prepared to provide detailed technical documentation and arrange demonstration flights to verify our capabilities. Sarah recognized the offer of demonstrations as potentially either proof of alien sincerity or an opportunity for closer surveillance of human capabilities. Temporal Collective, We appreciate your offer of demonstrations, but we need to establish protocols for any such activities. We cannot allow unknown vessels to operate freely within our solar system. The alien response revealed more about their expectations for human cooperation. Director Chen, demonstration flights would require temporary suspension of your current space traffic control protocols. Our vessels need freedom of movement to properly display our defensive capabilities. General Morrison had been analyzing the military implications of the aliens' requests throughout the conversation. Director Chen, their requirements for freedom of movement within our solar system are completely unacceptable from a security standpoint. No military force would grant such access to unknown entities. Dr. Elena Vasquez had been studying the aliens' responses to human questions throughout the conversation. Sarah, their answers consistently deflect requests for specific verifiable information, while emphasizing urgency and the need for immediate action. That's a classic pattern for entities attempting to manipulate decision-making processes. The alien voice continued with what seemed like increasing concern about human reluctance to accept their assistance. Luna Station 7. We must emphasize that the window for establishing effective defenses is rapidly closing. Harvester Advanced Scouts will detect your solar system within weeks if protective measures are not implemented immediately. Sarah felt the weight of potentially making the wrong decision about humanity's first contact with alien intelligence. The stakes couldn't be higher, but the alien story contained too many inconsistencies to accept without verification. Temporal Collective. We need 48 hours to analyze your proposals and consult with our leadership. During this time, we ask that your vessels maintain their current positions and avoid any actions that could be interpreted as threatening. The alien response carried what might have been disappointment, but acceptance of human decision-making processes. Director Chen, we will comply with your request for a 48-hour consultation period. However, we must warn you that any delay increases the risk to your civilization's survival. As the immediate crisis of first contact settled into a temporary standstill, Sarah looked around the observation deck at her team. Each of them had questions and concerns about the alien story, but none of them had definitive answers about what humanity should do next. The next 48 hours would determine whether humanity accepted the aliens' offer of protection or chose to face an uncertain galactic future on their own terms. Either way, nothing would ever be the same again. Captain Diana Walsh piloted the stealth reconnaissance vessel Silent Runner through the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter, her instruments set to passive scanning mode. 46 hours had passed since the Temporal Collective's ultimatum, and General Morrison had authorized a covert investigation of the alien claims. Diana's ship was equipped with humanity's most advanced sensor technology, designed to detect threats without revealing its own presence. "Captain, I'm picking up some interesting readings from the outer system," reported Chief Technical Officer James Park from his sensor station. James had spent 15 years analyzing deep space phenomena, and his expertise in detecting artificial structures was unmatched within the fleet. "There's definitely something out there, but it's not matching the energy signatures the aliens described." Dr. Samantha Torres looked up from her xenoarchaeology workstation, where she had been analyzing fragments of what appeared to be artificial debris collected from the edge of the solar system. "Captain, these material samples are telling a very different story than what we heard from the Temporal Collective." Diana adjusted their course toward the coordinates where Earth's deep space sensors had detected the mysterious energy signatures. "What kind of story, Dr. Torres?" "The metallurgy is wrong for what the aliens described. These fragments show signs of weapons damage, but the energy pattern suggests they were destroyed by technology remarkably similar to our own experimental defense systems." James Park enhanced his sensor readings and discovered something that made his blood run cold. "Captain, I'm detecting a debris field approximately 3 million kilometers ahead. It's massive, containing remnants of what appear to be dozens of different vessels." The Silent Runner approached the debris field cautiously, its passive sensors collecting data without alerting any potential observers to their presence. What they found challenged everything the Temporal Collective had told them about galactic civilization. "My God," Diana whispered, as the main display showed the devastation spread across millions of cubic kilometers of space. "James, how many ships are we looking at?" "Preliminary analysis indicates wreckage from at least 80 vessels, Captain. They're all of different designs, suggesting multiple species or civilizations. And Captain, these ships weren't destroyed by each other. Dr. Torres began analyzing the wreckage patterns with her specialized equipment. The damage patterns are consistent with a single attacking force using highly advanced energy weapons. Whatever destroyed these ships was technologically superior and tactically sophisticated. Diana felt a growing sense of unease as the implications became clear. Dr. Torres, can you determine how old this debris field is? Based on the radioactive decay patterns and metal oxidation, I'd estimate these ships were destroyed approximately 8 months ago. Captain, that's well before any contact with the temporal collective. James Park was analyzing the energy residue from the destroyed vessels when he made a discovery that changed everything. Captain, I'm detecting trace elements in the wreckage that match materials used in classified human military projects. Some of these ships were destroyed by weapons that shouldn't exist, according to public knowledge of our technology. The implications hit Diana like a physical blow. Are you saying that human weapons destroyed these alien ships? The evidence is circumstantial but compelling. The energy signatures, the material damage patterns, even the tactical approach used in the attack, all suggest human military involvement. Dr. Torres had been analyzing communication equipment recovered from one of the less damaged vessels. Captain, I've managed to access partial records from this ship's memory core. You need to see what I've found. The main display showed translated text that revealed the true purpose of the destroyed fleet. The ships had come from multiple star systems, but they hadn't been explorers or diplomats. They had been part of a coordinated invasion force targeting Earth. According to these records, Dr. Torres continued, this was the advance element of a much larger attack fleet. They had detailed plans for planetary conquest, resource extraction, and population management. James Park cross-referenced the invasion plans with the debris field analysis. Captain, the tactical assessment indicates that the attacking human force was outnumbered at least 10-1, but achieved complete victory with minimal losses. Diana stared at the evidence accumulating on her displays. Either humanity possessed secret military capabilities far beyond anything publicly acknowledged, or there were human forces operating independently of Earth's government. Dr. Torres, can you access more detailed records about how these ships were destroyed? I'm finding references to something called Shadow Fleet operations and mentions of human vessels that appeared without warning, struck with devastating efficiency, then vanished before reinforcements could arrive. The pattern emerging from the alien records painted a picture of human military forces that operated with a level of coordination and technological advancement that Earth's official military didn't possess. James Park had been monitoring long-range sensors throughout their investigation. Captain, I'm detecting movement in the outer system. 3 vessels are approaching our position, and their energy signatures don't match anything in our databases. Diana immediately ordered evasive maneuvers, but the approaching ships moved with a precision that suggested they had been tracking the silent runner despite its stealth capabilities. Captain, incoming transmission, reported communications specialist Lisa Chang from her station. It's not from the temporal collective. The signal is using human encryption protocols, but they're variants I don't recognize. Put it through, Diana ordered, wondering who else might be operating in their solar system without official authorization. The voice that came through the speakers was unmistakably human, but carried an accent that seemed to blend multiple Earth dialects. Reconnaissance Vessel Silent Runner, this is Commander Elena Vasquez of the Colonial Defense Network. Please respond with current authentication codes. Diana felt confusion mixed with suspicion. This is Captain Diana Walsh. I don't recognize your authority or your organization. Please identify yourself and explain your presence in this system. Captain Walsh, you're investigating debris from the recent Zephyrian incursion. We monitored your arrival and need to debrief you immediately. This information cannot return to Earth through standard channels. Dr. Torres looked up from her analysis station with excitement. Captain, the name Zephyrian appears in several of the alien records I've been translating. It seems to be the species designation for the largest group of ships in this debris field. Diana made a decision that would change everything humanity thought they knew about their place in the galaxy. Commander Vasquez will accept your invitation for debriefing, but any aggressive actions will be met with immediate defensive measures. The three approaching ships revealed themselves as they dropped their own stealth systems. They were unmistakably human in design, but incorporated technology that was decades ahead of anything Earth's public military possessed. "Captain," James Park reported with amazement, "those ships are equipped with weapons and defensive systems that our theoretical physicists said were impossible to build." Commander Vasquez's vessel, the Frontier Guardian, docked with the Silent Runner using connection systems that perfectly matched their airlock configuration despite being technology Earth had never seen before. Elena Vasquez entered the Silent Runner's briefing room with two other officers, all wearing uniforms that combined familiar human military styling with materials and insignia that were completely unfamiliar. "Captain Walsh," Elena began, "what I'm about to tell you will challenge everything Earth believes about human expansion into space. For the past 2 centuries, humanity has been expanding far beyond your solar system, establishing colonies and defending them against hostile alien civilizations." Diana felt her understanding of reality shifting. "That's impossible. We would know if millions of humans had left Earth and established colonies throughout the galaxy." The colonial expansion began in secret military programs during the early 1800s. Each generation of colonists pushed further into space, establishing hidden bases and developing advanced military capabilities through constant warfare with aggressive alien species. Dr. Torres leaned forward with scientific curiosity overriding her shock. "Commander, how is it possible that such a massive operation could remain secret from Earth's government?" "Earth was always intended to remain our safe harbor," explained Lieutenant Colonel Marcus Chen, one of Elena's officers. "If the colonies were ever discovered and destroyed, Earth would be humanity's backup plan. The colonies have been protecting Earth for generations, not the other way around." James Park studied the advanced technology visible on the colonial officers' equipment. "Commander, the weapons technology you're displaying is centuries ahead of Earth's current capabilities. How did colonial forces develop such advanced systems?" "Constant warfare accelerates technological development," Elena replied grimly. "Colonial military technology has been refined through conflicts with dozens of different alien civilizations. Most alien species surrender when they realize they're facing human forces." Diana was struggling to process the implications of what she was learning. "Commander, are you telling me that the debris field we investigated represents just one battle in an ongoing galactic war?" "The Zephyrian invasion force was one of the largest we've encountered," Elena confirmed. "They brought 80 ships thinking they could overwhelm what they believed was a primitive single-planet civilization. They discovered that humanity has been preparing for such attacks for over 200 years. Dr. Torres had been analyzing the colonial technology throughout the conversation. "Commander, this explains the inconsistencies we detected in the Temporal Collective's story. They're not here to protect us from alien threats. The Temporal Collective represents the last free alien civilizations in this region of the galaxy," Lieutenant Colonel Chen explained. "They're trying to negotiate surrender terms because they know they can't win a war against humanity." Diana felt the final pieces of the puzzle falling into place. "They're not offering us protection, they're trying to contain us." "Exactly," Elena confirmed. "The energy barrier installations they proposed would effectively trap Earth within its solar system, preventing any expansion that might threaten remaining alien civilizations." James Park had been monitoring communications from Earth throughout the conversation. "Captain, I'm receiving encoded transmissions from General Morrison. Earth's leadership is preparing to accept the Temporal Collective's offer." Elena's expression became urgent. "Captain, we need your help to prevent that from happening. If Earth accepts alien oversight, it could compromise the entire colonial defense network." Dr. Torres was studying star charts that showed the true extent of human expansion. According to these maps, human colonies exist in over 60 star systems. How is such a large population sustainable without Earth's knowledge? "Colonial worlds are completely self-sufficient," Marcus explained. "Each system produces its own food, manufactures its own equipment, and maintains its own defensive forces. Earth's resources haven't been needed for colonial expansion in over a century." Diana realized that humanity's relationship with the galaxy was the complete opposite of what everyone on Earth believed. "Commander, what happens if the Temporal Collective learns that Earth doesn't control the colonial expansion?" "They don't understand that Earth and the colonies operate independently. Elena replied. They believe Earth is the center of a vast human empire directing all expansion and military campaigns. The implications were staggering. The aliens were negotiating with what they thought was humanity's central government, not realizing that the real military power lay with forces that Earth didn't even know existed. "Captain," James interrupted, "I'm detecting a massive energy signature approaching from the outer system. It's larger than anything we've encountered, including the temporal collective vessels." Elena's expression became grim. "That's probably a temporal collective enforcement fleet. They're running out of patience with Earth's deliberation process." Dr. Torres looked up from her analysis with alarm. "Captain, if the aliens discover that Earth isn't actually controlling human expansion, what will they do?" "They'll realize that negotiating with Earth is pointless," Marcus replied. "At that point, they'll either attempt to destroy Earth as a symbolic victory, or they'll surrender to the colonial forces directly." Diana understood that humanity was at a crossroads that would determine the future of the entire galaxy. "Commander Vasquez, what are you proposing we do?" "We need to reveal the truth to Earth's leadership before they make any agreements with the temporal collective. Once Earth understands the real situation, humanity can make informed decisions about our galactic future." James Park was analyzing the approaching alien fleet with growing concern. "Captain, the incoming vessels are taking positions that suggest they're preparing for military action, rather than continued negotiations." Elena stood up with military urgency. "Captain, we need to return to Earth immediately. The Colonial Defense Network is prepared to protect the solar system, but Earth's population deserves to know what they're really facing." Dr. Torres gathered her research data with scientific excitement mixed with apprehension. "Captain, this information will revolutionize humanity's understanding of our place in the universe." Diana made the decision that would change everything. "All right, Commander. We'll return to Earth and present this evidence to General Morrison and Earth's leadership. But I want your assurance that colonial forces won't take any hostile action without Earth's authorization." "Captain, the Colonial Defense Network has been protecting Earth for 2 centuries without Earth's knowledge. We're not about to stop now." As the Silent Runner prepared to return to Earth with evidence that would shatter humanity's understanding of their galactic situation, the crew realized they were carrying information that would determine whether humanity accepted alien limitations or revealed their true power to the galaxy. The temporal collective believed they were negotiating with a primitive civilization that needed protection. They were about to discover that humanity was already the dominant force in their region of space, and Earth was just the tip of a galactic empire that had been conquering alien civilizations for generations. The next few hours would determine whether humanity continued to hide their true capabilities or announced to the galaxy that the age of human expansion was just beginning. Up next, you've got 2 more standout stories right on your screen. If this one hit the mark, you won't want to pass these up. Just click and check them out.